Hello everyone. Welcome back. We're here with the glitch exhibition. How are we all doing today? Hello everyone. Hopefully we're not too tired of my voice at this point, but yep, I'm going to be just demonstrating a few glitches in this game. Hopefully we're not too tired of my voice at this point, but yep, I'm going to be just demonstrating a few glitches in this game. So yeah, there's a few glitches in Octopath 2, not nearly as many or major as there was in Octopath 1, but still a few to demonstrate. I mean, we're only 1 year into the game, maybe more will be found. Some of these are a bit more strange or exotic than others. A lot of them don't even get used in speedruns, but that's what we have this exhibition here for, to just show some off. I hear that there might be some echo. I'm going to probably just mute myself in one location and see if that fixes it. We'll see if that's any better. Alright, but in any case. How's the audio now? Yep, that seems right. Sounds good. Alright, in any case, so we're just gonna get started. If we want a timer, we can run that from here, but we're not gonna be really going fast. We're gonna be explaining things. Audio's good? Yep, okay. So let's just proceed. So, first glitch we're going to do is actually going to be 2 at the same time, and that's just because they conveniently can be both set up in a battle, and so I'm just going to be showing them both off. One of them is Tiny Travelers. Tiny Travelers is something that we had in Octopath 1, and the basic explanation of what Tiny Travelers is that we're going to be making the game think we're inside when in fact we are outside. Whenever you enter a building, like this one for instance, the camera zooms in, and you can tell, kind of comparing the heights of the sprites right now, that we've been shrunken. We zoom in so that we can see the screen a bit better, but also all of our sprites get small. And the idea of Tiny Travelers is that we're just going to take this idea of being small and not be inside the building. Now, why is that useful? Well, sometimes it lets you clip out of bounds in certain ways. There are one way that can be done in this game, but it's very situational in how you set it up and doesn't lead to anything. And it also unloads NPCs, so if anyone was guarding a house, you could use that to bypass an NPC. Again, a lot of these glitches aren't actually useful in a speedrun as of yet. They're a bit cumbersome to set up in the current game, but maybe we'll be finding other ways of setting them up in the future. Alright, aside from that, we're also going to be demonstrating one that perhaps more people are familiar with, which is the Provoke Beasts glitch. And that one's a little bit spoilers for Ochet's story, but at the end of Ochet's story, she gets an EX skill called Provoke Beasts. And we're going to be demonstrating that in this fight. So we're going to be setting up Tiny Travelers, we'll come back to it, but first we're actually going to be demonstrating Provoke's Beast glitch, because part of the Tiny Traveler setup is dying, so we're going to be just doing that all at the same time. So let's enter on into here. We've got a fight. This fight is very specific for the Tiny Travelers, but it doesn't matter for Provoke Beast glitch. So let's just focus in on that Provoke Beast glitch. So what is Provoke Beasts? We've got a Hunter skill called Provoke Beasts, high SP cost. You can boost it to provoke more. Ordinarily, it lets you summon a lot of beasts over again. And it's quite strong overall by itself. One thing it can't do is summon some of the legendary creatures, or strong creatures. You can do Acta, but not Cataracta, and all those sorts of things. And so what we're going to do is basically do a glitch so that we can get it. To do this glitch, we need latent power. And just for demonstrations, I am also going to give Ochet some BV, so we can do a lot of it. We go into the Provoke Beasts. Again, this lets us select things, but if we tap X to activate Latent Power, it sort of kicks us back a menu to the Animal Instincts one. Now, that's not going to help us for the moment, but if we then turn Latent Power back off, we're in the main menu again. But secretly, the game still thinks we're in the middle of selecting beasts for Provoke Beasts. We can go back in and do it normally, but now we can actually go into Beast Lore, and this one acts like our normal Beast Lore menu. We have Terra, Glacius, and all of our normal beasts, and we can actually summon these multiple times over. This is incredibly powerful. Alright, hopefully the audio desync's not too bad. I'll take my time with it. But, for instance, we can summon Terra twice. I've just selected Terra once. It's not as visible because you can't see the times X easily, but I've tapped it twice. I'm going to do Glacius twice, and why not, let's throw in some frogs. And then we can provoke these over and over. It is a very powerful skill. You can still only use these once per battle, these extra legendary creatures. But you can see that they can get summoned many times over. You can chew through a bunch of weak points, which you could already do with Provoke Beasts, but you can get those extra strong hits in. Alright, if we do want to, we can pause here just to get the audio fixed. Hopefully we're still following along and having a nice time of it. I'll just make sure I speak in advance. Alright, in any case, that's the Provoke Beasts glitch. It's rather straightforward, you just need latent power, and then you can summon any sort of beast from your menu, including the strange ones. Alright, now the next step is to die. And this is actually that other glitch with Tiny Travelers. So, we're done with Provoke Beasts, that was just a demonstration. Why did we have to go and die there? Well, if we recall, that Thurston fight, in this Partitio Chapter 3, was inside a building. And so we entered a building, but we never exited it, because we exited it by dying. And the game didn't account for this. It accounts for it if you beat the boss normally, but if you die, then it thinks we're still inside that building on that other screen. And there's a little bit of glitch state to this. We haven't gotten Tiny Travelers quite yet. What we need to do is actually go inside another building, and this makes us into the Tiny Traveler state. It zooms us in again internally, and then when we exit, it exits that building, but it's still sort of restoring the idea that we're in a Tiny Traveler state in that Thurston building. And the details of this are a little fuzzy. We don't fully understand it, frankly, but what we've done is basically put the game into a Tiny Traveler state, and it's not visible. But if we just go ahead and save somewhere, and reload that save, we'll be in Tiny Travelers. And again, very strange. This is actually how we've seen Tiny Travelers crop up in this game in a few different ways. But there we have it. We've zoomed in. It's like we're inside a building. None of the NPCs are visible. We can't see inside buildings, but we've got Tiny Travelers. And in fact, this here is the building that corresponds with sort of the same internal ID as the Thurston Mansion. It's sort of the first one in the list, I guess. And so that's why this one is thinking we're inside this at the moment. You couldn't actually activate this by entering the tavern and exiting. It had to be any other building but this, but in fact, it's pretty versatile. It's much easier in Octopath 1. There's lots of crazy things you can do in Octopath 1. I will say you can do this on any other map screen. When we died to Thurston, we went to our autosave, but there's a way of disabling autosave in this game with another glitch. We're not actually going to be demonstrating that. But if you do that, you can actually die to Thurston and basically go back to your recent save on any sort of screen. Then you just enter a building, exit it again, and you can get Tiny Travelers on a lot of locations that have buildings. In this game, there's no guards that you can sneak past. I've looked around a whole lot for uses of this Tiny Travelers. Frankly, it doesn't lead to much. There's one where you can get a boat on land, although that's incredibly convoluted, and there's a much easier land boat that we're going to be seeing in just a little bit. And again, that also all requires removing the autosave, which has to do with completing the game, which is just a nightmare to actually have to sit through. Overall, nothing speedrun worthy as of yet, unless we can find another way of getting autosave removal, and even then, you'd have to be doing Partitio 3. Alright, let's call it at that for Tiny Travelers. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Trying to follow along in the chat as well. Seems like we're diagnosing some things. So I'm going to load into this Montwise save I've got here. And this one's also going to be a glitch that not many people have seen. I'd say the Provoke Beast glitch is pretty well known in the casual community and all of those, but this one definitely less so. So this has to do with any sort of loading transition where there's a ladder. So right here, if we look, we walk up this ladder and somewhere right around there, it transitions. You can do this on any loading zone transition. Some of them lead to interesting things, most of them don't. But this one we'll be able to get out of bounds with this. What we're going to do is just go past that loading zone. And it's rather precise timing, but I'm just going to open the menu and close it right as I hit that loading zone. So I'm going to, right around where I saw it be activated before, I'm holding up, I'm opening the menu, closing it, and I missed the timing, I was a little early. It is rather difficult and precise, but we'll see if we can get this in a few tries. Alright, early again. Again, just trying to open the menu, just the normal pause menu, right as we hit that loading zone. Alright, still early, sorry about that. And I was late. It's definitely not the easiest. There is only one speedrun application to this. We haven't really judged on whether we're allowing it, and there we go, we're past the loading zone. So we keep climbing the ladder, we didn't get loaded out, and in fact this one, if I hold up when I get off this ladder, there's some invisible walls that I can stand on. That's what's kind of fun about this. I am going to get an encounter eventually because I don't have sprinting ribbon in this file, but I'm just going to walk around here. I know where some of these invisible walls are. I go to that tree, I see this next tree, I kind of go over to it, and oops, well I fell off. But in any case, I made it pretty well out of bounds. which is the sort of area I was trying to get to, although not the most elegant path. And we're way out of it now. The invisible walls there are basically corresponding with the floors that correspond to it are the walls of the area we were just kind of in, the graveyard. There's some walls there, and you can kind of walk on top of the trees in a sense, because those are the walls in that area. Let's see if I have actual money to take things out here. I don't have actual money to take things out here. Let's hit them with some mercs. Hopefully we don't get too many encounters overall. Clearly I can guess a weakness here. Yeah. In any case, there's not much to these out of bounds. Sometimes they can lead to interesting things. The only actual skip, which if we have time I might demonstrate, but I think I'm actually not going to bother with demonstrating more than this, is in Ochet Chapter 2 Terra. You can use that to skip an encounter for speedruns. You can also maybe time save in Throne 4, the final chapter for Throne. That one's incredibly minor and really not worth it. Doesn't skip an encounter, just makes the movement faster. Anyhow, here's the edge of the world. If you fall off the world, it resets you to where you first spawned in, and there's some shenanigans sometimes you can do when you're out of bounds, but we're not doing that there. Alright, so next up, we're going to be going in to demonstrate a recent glitch that was found. This one's very recent, less than a month old I believe, and we haven't really incorporated it into speedruns yet, but it's going to be very potent for speedruns. And what it is let you duplicate any sort of stealable item or purchasable item. Now in speedruns, a very common one that we would be aiming for is rare cogs. This one happens to work very well. What the glitch lets us do is steal something that has already been stolen. Oh, let me turn it to day. So here, well, I guess this demonstration's not entirely apt, but the rare cog is here. It sells for 4,000 each, and we've already bought it. Normally that would prevent you from buying it again, but the glitch that we're going to do, it lets us steal it again. Now, this, if I hadn't stolen yet, it would show that it was 100% steal rate, which is rather convenient. What you want is something that you want to duplicate. It doesn't have to be 100%, but that just makes it easier. And something else that is not 100%. If you select something that's not 100%, it asks you, are you sure you want to attempt this steal? And that's what we need. We're basically going to be using this text box here, attempting to steal it, but then as soon as we hit yes, we're moving down so that it waits a moment and then thinks, oh yes, we stole the rare cog again. Because again, right now, if we try and select this, it's not doing anything, but if we hit yes and then immediately down, move my cursor down right there, it stole the rare cog. So I'm able to use the yes from this box, and then immediately press down right after it to steal rare cogs. And just to demonstrate where those have been going, in the inventory I am now at 2. I guess the other rare cog got sold at one point. Let's try it one more time. It is a bit difficult to perform, so hopefully I don't mess it up, but yes, there's our rare cog again. And now we're at 3. And you can just keep doing that repeatedly. You get fast at it. You get lots of quick money. Rare cog happens to be a pretty good one. And then I messed it up. So if you mess it up, you get locked up. I just stole the rare stone by accident, and so I can't perform this here. But maybe I could go and perform it by some other NPC. In any case, it lets you duplicate things, and is pretty useful. Some other ones that you could use this for is duplicating nuts. Let me try and think of a nut to duplicate. I don't actually have one immediately primed. I think this Tropu one, or someone in Tropy should have one. Right, in any case, let's just say that it's also possible with purchase, and I'm remembering that I am entirely broke in this file, so let's go sell our 10 rare cogs we got, and we've got 40,000 money. Nice and easy. And let's just go duplicate something. You can do it with purchase just as well. Because purchase also has a confirm menu, you don't need to care about the steal rate or anything like that, but you will be spending money. You're going to be rebuying the item. It's going to take the cost of whatever originally was there. There's a soulstone somewhere here I'm looking for. Yes, this one. So for instance, I could buy this, and then I could buy it again by using this. So let's demonstrate this in full. I'm buying 1 Thunder L. If I look in my inventory, maybe I had some. Nope, that was my first Thunder L here. And then I'm going to use the glitch to be able to buy it again. Here's the confirmation thing. I'm going to hit up in this case, or down, because that'll select it either way, to move it up right after I do that. And so I should have just done it twice there. I should be at 3 Thunder L. Now I do have to pay for it each time, but it lets you get much more options for items. Large soulstones are pretty scarce in this game, so that lets you duplicate them, for speedruns at least. And you could also duplicate nuts, so you can easily get maybe 50 of magic nuts and go crazy with that. sometimes you want to find items that are nice to steal in that they have two other options to lead it into it. So for instance, if I want to steal this rare stone, if I accidentally messed up with this vivid jewel here, like so, or if I accidentally stole this, then it would be gone as an option, but then I could just continue using this one to duplicate over and over. And that was actually a failed attempt, but in any case, duplications, it's pretty versatile, very quick and easy to do, but well, not easy to do, but precise timing. You can do it in just about anything. There's a lot of ways this is going to start showing up into speedrun routes. We haven't fully gotten a verdict as to whether we're going to split those into its own category. It's all new and developing. I am going to take a moment to double check my notes and make sure I'm not forgetting any crucial glitches, because there's quite a bit. Well, that's about it for that section. I am going to just open up one more file. Two more files, we have time. Yes, I did a lot of glitch work in the Octopath 1 games. It hasn't been much for activity, so if you're going to follow me, don't expect much, but in any case, I also have been developing glitches or exploring them in this game. It hasn't led to much, though, to be frank. Alright, in any case, let's go into the final glitch and just wrap it up here. And that's going to be boating on land. Now, this file, well, it's actually the same one, but I'm just at a different save point. What we're looking for here is that we haven't done Dancer and Warrior 2. On the map, it's right here. We also haven't gone to the town yet. This is going to be the first time entering the town, and so when I enter the town, it's going to prompt me, would you like to hear this tale of Dancer and Warrior 2? And for those who are wondering, you have to complete, I think, Agnia 4 and Hikari 5 to unlock that. Certainly Hikari 5. Agnia might not need all the stories. In this file, I believe I did all of them anyways. I'm walking because I don't have good encounter breaking at the moment, unfortunately. I'm going to also challenge here to reset some steps. Now, the only thing about this glitch, and it happens to a lot of people by accident, is we just have to enter the town on a boat. You can enter the town through that sort of main bridge over there, but instead there's also some water off to the side. You can enter the town in from the right-hand side, and while you're doing that, you're on a boat. And because when we enter this town, it's going to immediately ask us, do we want to hear the story? And I got an encounter anyways. Alright, let's see what we can do about this one. Surely mercs. No mercs. Alright. Might have to YOLO flee some of these. I did not have money in this file. Alright, good enough. So again, we have Agnia or the Crosspath Part 2 for Agnia and Hikari. We're entering from the water side on a boat rather than the main path, and they didn't account for this. We then go and start the tale. Shows a cutscene, but it never remembered to take us out of the boat, so now we have a boat on land. And that's always fun and goofy. And you can go inside buildings as well. It doesn't get rid of it. You can't go to another screen, but you can't warp away, but you've got boats here. Alright, and that about wraps it up for what I wanted to demonstrate. Maybe we could check out the location in Ochet 2, Terra, for a out of bounds, but otherwise that's about all we were going to demonstrate, and there really isn't all that much. Now, it was mentioned during the randomizer a little bit that there's an abating orb glitch. I'm not going to be demonstrating that here. We've already talked about it a little bit. It's where the boss's survival threshold is a buff on them, and abating orb removes a buff, and so you can bypass the surviving at 1 HP mechanic of some final chapter bosses. We're going to be seeing plenty of that in the single story relay, though, so we'll have to look forward to that then. Yep, if you're in Rando, there's lots of other ways of triggering this because it doesn't account to reset you out of the boat when you warp away. I believe it would be doing so here. Yep. So not quite the same, but yes, that's all for the boats. There's actually another way you can activate the boat in that town, and that's with tiny travelers and a very elaborate setup with Hikari Chapter 1. And that one's just silly, but that's a much easier boat. Alright, but we'll call it there. Again, hope you've enjoyed. If you do want to reach out about these sorts of things, feel free to join the speedrunning community. That's really a good way of sharing glitches and asking about questions. I've explored them pretty thoroughly, and there really hasn't been much to come of it, but there are some potentials in the future. If we can find more ways of getting out of bounds, then that opens up some things, and if we can disable the autosave anywhere, then that would also be rather nice. But that's about it for now. Hope you've all enjoyed, and up next we've got the boat race, where we're all going to be racing boats, all whole bunch of runners. So look forward to that.